Hey everybody, and you should always check if your mute button's on because I recorded this entire video and then completely realized at the end of it that I was muted. That sucks. So this one's going to be a 2-for-1. This fight was kind of a pain in the padded ass on normal, at least for me. So I don't know how everybody else feels about it. And since this is hard mode, I figured I would just add this one in here, because there is a manuscript at the end of it, and since it's a one-on-one fight with Kate Sith, so I figured I'd just add that in there. So that way it could help some people who may be struggling, and I just give them kind of some ideas on how you can handle this. So there's one way that you could handle this, which is what I kind of considered doing in case like things went sour for me. So I wanted to attempt it a few times with this, and then if it didn't work, then I would switch to like the more defensive side. So by that I mean like using a level 2 or above elemental materials, and since you get 2 of them, I believe, yeah, you get 2 of them, you can use those to basically put them on your armor, and if they're rank 2 or higher, they will basically just null any magical attacks depending on the linked material. And I would recommend putting fire and lightning linked on there if you want to go the defensive route. Blizzard is easy to dodge, so that way that's why I don't recommend using that. You could if you really want to, but for that, fire and lightning are harder to dodge consistently. So yeah, and then you can just use those to tank, to basically just either heal yourself or just nullify those attacks. And I think that's a really dangerous thing in this fight, is his magical attacks. His physical attacks, there's not really too much that I can say that you can just be like, oh, here, you can just nullify his physical attacks. But what I would recommend doing is always having the Moogle casted. That way you can use the Moogle as your like tank, and better to have 2 characters than just 1, right? Because the Moogle kind of does its own thing if you're not riding it. So by that, you know, the Moogle will just aggro all of his attacks, you know, while you can sit there and either heal or you know, get your ATB built up. And I think, like, especially when he's in his physical form, I noticed that he chased after the Moogle, like he aggroes the Moogle much more often than actual Kate Sith. So, and then I guess, well, he did hit him with that thunder spell there, so so how he works is he has 2 heads, one's physical, one's magical. That's also going to play into the boss fight later on. The boss fight in the next part of the video is, like, I think when you do like a certain amount of damage, and you'll know like what side he's on when his eyes are glowing, and I think his right head is magic, left side is physical. I'm not too sure, but you can see if his eyes are glowing. I think like when you do like a certain amount of damage to him, like one of his heads will break or something, and then he will just constantly stay in one side, which I think I just broke one of his heads right there. And I think for the rest of this fight, he basically just stays in this like physical form. So if it works the way that I'm describing it, I guess you could wait till he's in his magical form, stagger him, and then basically he'll lose the magical portion of his head, and then all you have to do is worry about the physical attacks. Or if you're doing the defensive side, you could wait for him to be in physical, stagger him then, destroy the head then, and then all he'll do is magical attacks, and then there you go, easy win, right? Because he'll just be healing you the entire time, and the only thing you have to worry about is dodging Blizzard, which is easy to dodge. But in my case, I got the physical portion, so I just made sure to keep the Moogle up, and as soon as he disappeared, notice how this goes poorly for me. Thankfully I had reprieve there, otherwise I would have been dead. Yeah, so that's what can be very tricky about this, is like the physical side of it. Is it like when it's just Kate Sith by himself, it's gonna be kind of a pain in the padded ass to dodge his attacks. So that's why I'd always recommend keeping the Moogle up. So yeah, probably now that I'm thinking about it, the best bet is to probably just put the elemental materials on, and then just make sure he doesn't keep into physical form. Just try to get him in his magical form. If you can do that, that's an easy victory right there. Or if you're kind of a good I guess a good player with Kate Sith, like you know his ins and outs and intricacies, then yeah, I think you probably whoop that enemy's ass pretty easily. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that gives you guys some kind of idea on what to do with like your materia. I don't know if I showed the materia with Kate Sith, but although his materia is going to be the same kind of here than it was during the Yin Yang fight, so I'll let that go over this real quick, and then I'll just kind of talk about Lost Number or Forgotten Specimen in the remake games. That's what it's named. So it's still the same as he was in the OG. He's got the two sides, you know, the magical side, which is the red, like tentacle-y side, and then he's got the physical side, which is the blue one. And then I think if I'm remembering right, it's like if you do a certain amount of magical damage to him, he'll switch to like the physical side, or he does like the opposite, I think it is. Or if it was like physical damage, he'll switch to the physical side. I think it's either one way. It's either he does the opposite or he switches to the side that you're using the most. I think. I'm not too sure. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I think like the thing you need to watch out for during that fight, during that boss fight, is during the well, in the second phase he's going to start casting it, but in the third phase he's going to add something to it too. And I don't know if this is just a hard mode thing, because I don't remember seeing this in my dynamic mode playthrough. Well, my first playthrough, I guess you could say. I've only done one, technically two if you count the hard mode. But anyways, so he's going to start like in the second phase, he'll start shooting down some like Mako pools and stuff, which don't poison you. They look like poison pools, but they're not. If you stand in them, they're just going to damage you over time. So you kind of don't want to stand in them. But it's a pain in the ass because he'll start shooting them around like the entire field, the entire arena. And so like if you like, since Kate Sith is like a physical attacker, unless you spec him into magic, then yeah, that'd be kind of tough. Aerith and Barret, it's going to be easy to keep them out of there, but for the most part. But if you noticed, I didn't use a lot of MP, if at all, in the Yin and Yang fight, and there was a reason for that. I used Heat Wave if I wanted to cast fire damage on Yin and Yang, since it was weak to it, because you have to use Kate Sith this entire chapter. You cannot remove him during the Vincent fight, you cannot remove him during this fight because there's only 3 members. So he's basically being used the entire fight, and I didn't want to burn all MP, basically just taking out a mini boss, I guess you could say. And I don't use a whole lot of MP with Kate Sith during this fight because I want to save that for the Vincent fight. So how I kind of set this up is I gave Barret a couple of status effect things. As you notice, I poisoned him, so he is weak to poison. He's also weak to petrify, and he's also weak to silence. Sleep is also one that you can use on him as well, but I only ever wanted to use sleep if I needed to heal him. Otherwise, I didn't use it during this fight. But for the most part, I was having Barret, you know, casting Bio and Quake and stuff, and I also had Dispel on me in case he buffed himself up. I couldn't remember if he buffed himself up at all, but this was like my second attempt because he killed me in the first fight. And that's going back to what I was saying. The attack I think you're gonna have to watch out for the most is when it pops up during the second phase, which the Mako pools I was talking about. And then once he starts getting weaker, he'll hit like a third phase, but there's not going to be a transition, so you won't know. But he'll do an attack called the Mako Geyser, and he's gonna like slam down the ground, and basically all the little pools that are around the arena are gonna blow up. And that's what killed me last time, because I happened to be standing in them when he did it, and I wasn't paying attention to that attack. So he basically just killed 2 of my party members, and then the third one didn't have a raise on him, so I fixed that problem. So yeah, that's going to be like the biggest thing to watch out for. I don't know how much damage it did in total, but it was enough to kill 2 of my party members, and I don't know how low HP I was, so I can't really tell you like, oh hey, keep your health up here and then you might survive that attack. So I don't know, but I would say watch out for that attack. So like if you see him doing Mako Geyser, if you see the name pop up over his head, get out of the pools. Get out of the pools. The AI should do it themselves, so I wouldn't have to worry. Don't worry about them. They'll probably get out of there themselves. Aerith usually stays out of the pool. I've noticed that too. Like once the pools are there, like Aerith stayed out of them. Barrett did as well. Even Kate Sith moved out of there too when I wasn't controlling. So yeah, for the most part, the AI is not stupid. They're not going to be standing in there like taking damage over time, like derp derp. And then one thing I would do is put Lifesaver on Barrett. I would probably use that most times if you're using Barrett in your party to tank, because if he's taking all the damage, especially since he has over like 9,000 HP, he can take a lot of punishment before you have to heal. And with him having Lifesaver, not Lightsaber. What is it, Star Wars? Anyways, if he's the one taking all the damage, you don't have to worry about healing your other party members, right? But do watch out for that. If he takes too much, he can take a lot of damage too quickly, especially if the bosses do like an area effect and hit everybody. He's going to be taking all that damage and then some, you know, so he could die from it. You know, he's not invincible for sure. And then you'll notice that I'll be using Kate Sith and Barrett to basically build up their limit break pips. So if I get a limit break and I've got like a level 3 limit break, I can do massive amounts of damage because those limit breaks do a lot of damage. So we got into the second phase here. This is when he's going to start casting those little knuckle pools. And yeah, you saw that he did switch to like his magical side, the tentacly side. And then I think that's when I casted Silence on him. So if you cast Silence on him during then you can't use a spell. So haha, take that, motherfuckers. But like overall, like if you know exactly what to expect in this fight, I think this one's not too tough, especially if you're casting poison on him. And if you get the big dick poison, you know, like the level 2 one where you cast poison on him twice, and that's a good chunk of damage that's just going to be ticking off at it, like just through the entire fight. And then when he gets into this phase, he's going to start casting sleep on your party members and stuff. You'll see him casting sleep, which isn't that big of a deal. Most of the time, Aerith is the one who got hit. Yeah, you saw it. Mako guys are right there. And since there was only one pool, it was easy to dodge. Yeah, just I guess so. He starts doing it in the second phase. So yeah, watch out for that. That's probably his big damaging attack. And then since I didn't really have him in his magic form all that often, I only ever had to worry about his physical form, which I will totally take. That is a lot easier to mitigate damage. You can cast Barrier on Barrett to help him, which I believe he has Protect on, but that's due to my weapon. Every time he uses his overcharge, he has Protect casted on him and stuff, you know, so yeah. I would rather just be dealing with physical attacks than magical attacks. And I'd say that probably about Yin and Yang as well, but that's, you know, that's just me. But honestly, no, now that I'm thinking about it, like the easiest way to deal with Yin and Yang is mitigating his magical attacks. Just keeping him out of his physical form. So yeah, you saw he casted Sleep there, and then slapped the hell out of Aerith there. Luckily, Lifesaver was helpful. Barrett ain't dying. He almost died, but yeah. I was thinking of something to say and then completely lost it. Brain farts galore, right? This is what happens when you have to retake everything, because I had it perfectly in the last recording. It had to be muted, thank God. Or not thank God, what the hell am I saying? No, that's terrible. Shut up. Anyways, so he cast Reflect on himself, and I did have Dispel on me, I think. And you can basically dispel that if you want to. That's also another thing you could do. That's probably why I had it. But me being derpy, I didn't get rid of Reflect. So, so yeah. I don't have too much to say about this fight. I think I've explained everything else. Yeah, okay, yeah. I finally decided that, yeah, I'm gonna use Dispel on him. It's like, oh yeah, he's got Reflect. I can't use magical spells with Earth. Oh, she's asleep now again. He really likes to put Eric to sleep. He put her to sleep like 3 times during this fight. That's funny. That's actually funny. Tormented slumber there. Does that move to attack someone who's sleeping? And then I interrupted it. Yeah, I think that move was supposed to be like it was supposed to affect someone who was sleeping. And here's the Mako Geyser. And this is gonna be the big one since there's like 4 pools sitting around it. So if you're not in them, you're totally fine. This is what I was saying to watch out for. It was especially during this phase because he can cast more of those little pools. I think he can, or if he's only allowed to do 4, I don't remember. But either way, let me know if you guys want me to do actual commentary over these boss fights, or if you just want me to just let them rip without commentary and then just let you guys discern what it is that I'm doing, or make fun of what I'm doing. I guess. 'Cause I've had some people like make fun of it. I'm just like, alright, that's cool, I guess. But like, yeah, just let me know if you guys want me to actually do like commentary on these videos, or just upload them and then just let the gameplay speak for itself. Let you guys kind of figure out like what to do or something. But yeah, just go ahead and let me know. But I also wanted to thank everybody for like supporting me during these Rebirth videos. It kind of means a lot, to be honest. I've had a few of my videos pop off pretty big, so it's been pretty great. So thanks everybody who's been watching, who's been subbing, who's actually been commenting. It's been pretty nice to actually have interaction with people who enjoy this game as much as I do. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next fight, which is the hardest one of this chapter, obviously. But yeah, thank you guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And good luck to everybody attempting hard mode.